Academy. I've heard a lot of, I'm trying to think, there's so many pro audios where they talk about your belief in the system, your belief in what it is that we're doing. And I kind of went into Elite Academy with zero expectations. I was just excited to get out because I haven't been anywhere. I haven't been out in a long time. I'm a single mom and back living with my mother because I don't have the financial stability to live on my own since my husband left. And he's not helping me out financially. So with that, I didn't have any expectations, and going into it to just be blown away at the training and the self-development. I didn't even realize that I had been questioning my priorities, because of course my kids are my top priority. That's not even in the mix, but all the other things that I was doing, I decided to go back to school. I wanted to be a teacher, and being at this Life Academy or this Elite Academy, it made me realize that this is more important. This is what's going to make me a teacher. I don't need to go to school for that. And besides, my usual job is working at the IRS, and I can't stand the office politics. I'm just fed up with it. And just in the first class that I was taking as a student, there's so much more office politics that come along with that. And Sean's mom was able to very actively voice her opinion about the school system, which really opened my eyes. And it really screamed to me that, you know what, I want this. I want this for me and my girls because they're worth it. And being able to not have to go to a regular 9-to-5 job and be away from them is worth it. It's worth everything. And it just heightened my belief that we've got the coolest thing out there, period. And I come home and I've just gotten my behaviors down. I'm making appointments left and right, and I've gotten a lot of no's, which sucks. It definitely sucks, but it's worth it. It's still worth it. I don't know what more you want me to say.
No, that's awesome, Kaya. I appreciate that. It's exciting to be able to see. The funnest part about this, you can talk to any elite distributor and anybody who's been a part of LifeVantage that has been to these events, and the comment that they make is that big paradigm shift, that shift that happened in their mind of the phrase that we use, maybe burn the ships, or you sell out, you commit to the process of building LifeVantage because of what you want to accomplish and everything else. And so that usually happens at an event. Pretty much everybody you talk to talks about going to an event and making that decision. In fact, that was the topic of the entire event. The event was the topic of making a decision. And so we go to these events with that mindset of let's see what we're a part of here, especially when it's your first one. And you leave there with a whole new level of commitment. And so that's why these are so powerful to be a part of. And so, Kai, I appreciate those comments and your abilities and leadership that you're coming into the team with already. So it's exciting to see your progression and growth as we go and explode this business with you. So thanks, Kaya.
Woo!
Awesome, Trent. Well, I will pass it back to you, and we will extend the call. And by the way, have you figured out who the Stormtrooper is yet?
No idea who the Stormtrooper is.
Oh, it's obvious when you can think of who the comedian is in the team.
I was going to say, should we make him reveal himself to the rest of the group?
Something with the last name Nye.
Right.
I would never have guessed that, to be completely honest. I had no idea that was Curtis. Kurt Nye, the Stormtrooper. Oh, by the way, Kaya, you were recorded. I was going to try to get on there when Bruce was talking, but we got you recorded. So I hope you're okay with it. I decided to hit the record button. I feel like a lot of times we do these trainings, and sometimes we use the recording, sometimes we don't. But it's the time we don't record that we wish we would have recorded. So anyway, we got a little bit of your story, and I'll just tell you, I love your story. I love the fact that, you know, you've got these external circumstances that occurred that maybe they were not calculated. It wasn't planned. It's not like you woke up and you had this dream of where your life would be, and you had no idea, you know, that's not planned out. You weren't executing this plan that you were going to go through the experiences that you went through, and then you had to put the pieces back together. So I admire that. I also admire the idea of personal development, because I do believe that it's in every one of our controls to make those types of decisions. And it's a great leading point into what I wanted to share with everybody this morning, talking about building our business. We can be as excited as we want to be, and we can put forth all the action in the world, but if we don't have that connecting piece, that foundational belief of what we're going to get out of this opportunity, I don't think that it's just organized chaos is all it is, really. And I think a lot of times we're just going multiple different directions. And so I just wanted to build off of a couple of points relative to why we go to the events, and also about making the decision today that we are going to work on ourselves. We teach the proper behaviors, and those behaviors are real. The 15 presentations, plugging into the trainings. But if there aren't the foundational philosophies that we have and we bring to the table, I just think that sometimes it's going to be a little bit harder. And one of my biggest mentors in personal development is Jim Rohn. If you haven't had a chance to learn from this guy, I highly encourage you to do it. Jim Rohn has been dead for quite a few years, but I can tell you he's one of my greatest mentors. His legacy continues to live on. And for me personally, you can get that off of YouTube. You type in Jim Rohn. His last name is spelled R-O-H-N. And you'll see tons of stuff on personal development. But I love his philosophy. And so I love the idea, and I'm just going to build off a couple of points. He says, in order to win the battle in your head, trust the law of averages. And here's the point, that circumstances will work out in your favor with life-changing effort. So if we're willing to really say, today's the day I'm going to make that change, you can literally change your circumstances if you're willing to put forth that effort consistently enough, knowing where you're going. If you can't find the circumstances you want, this is a quote by Jim Rohn, if you can't find the circumstances you want, it's up to you to make them. That's putting full control into each one of our hands. When we think about a farmer that's out plowing the field, why does the farmer plow the field in the springtime if he can't see the harvest? I mean, the fact of the matter is he's doing it on faith because he knows what the results are going to be if he works on his field. And I believe the most important field that we have to work on is only a 6-inch piece of real estate. And it's a 6 inches from this ear to this ear. Though that inches of real estate is the most important investment you will ever make in a real estate transaction, invest into that piece of ground. Invest into you. We put so much effort into our full-time jobs, but we don't put a lot of time. We put mediocre effort into our own self. We think that we can just go work on our job and that we can just work on our life and its business the same way. We can't. We have to adapt a whole new mentality. Faith, the ability to see things that don't exist. That's what faith is. And a lot of times we're building our business behind that principle of faith, literally seeing things that don't exist. And so the question is, how do things actually exist if we're operating on faith? Is it possible to see things that don't exist? Or is it possible to actually have things that don't exist? I mean, think of it this way. How does the house that you live in, how did that house become? That house became because somebody envisioned it. An architect mapped it out. Somebody saw the piece of ground and decided to build the house. So is it possible that you literally can actually see the finished product before it's actually even started? The answer is yes. It is possible to see things before they actually exist. So in our business, it's relative. About starting our life and its business, we have to not only just connect the why, the fuel that's going to fuel us to go do it, but we've got to be able to literally see the end. When should we start building the house? Now, this is a powerful thought. This is a Jim Rohn thought. When should we start building the house? Here is the answer. Write this down. As soon as it's finished. That means when should we start building our life and its business? We should start building the life and its business as soon as it's finished in our mind. in that real estate, that 6 inches of real estate. We have to envision very vividly exactly what we're doing. Jim Rohn talks about if you're going to go out and build your house, you have to know what it's going to look like. You need to know what it's going to be. If you just start laying bricks and having no idea about what you're laying your bricks, that's going to, what Jim Rohn says, you're going to find yourself in a safe house. People don't, it's just not normal to go out there and just throw bricks down. You have to know exactly what it's going to look like. So it is possible you can actually see that the end. And I think it's important that we lay that out in our brain and we understand what that is. There's that old saying that says, don't count your chickens until they hatch. Well, that's not true for us. We actually can count the chickens before they hatch. We can see the chickens long before they hatch if we start thinking about what it looks like in the future. So here's the idea. I want you to really literally start painting the picture in your mind what this opportunity looks like for you 5 years from now, what it looks like 10 years from now. Start striking on the emotions behind it, what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it feels like. All those things are very relative and extremely important. So I think that if we can do that, I think that we'll be able to have a better plan of action on how we're going to execute, why we're going to do the presentations, how we're going to do our presentations, why we're plugging into the trainings, why we're staying plugged in as a team. There was Bob Cummings put a quote out. He's an old famous actor. Bob Cummings says, and this is a good quote. I like this one. He says, decide what you want and then act as if you already had it. Decide what you want and then act as if you already had it. That's the idea what we're talking about. You realize that as humans, we're the only species that has the ability to change our circumstances. We're the only ones that literally can see the future and make those changes. No other species can do that. All other species operate by a genetic code. If you look at the goose flies to the south. Why? Because genetically, that's what it's been programmed to do, and that'll never change. The goose will always fly to the south. It doesn't fly to the north in the wintertime. It's always going to fly towards the south. So we have the ability to literally take whatever's happened to us in the last 5 years and change the next 5 years. We have the ability to literally change that. We can literally be broke financially and in the next 5 years be completely financially independent. And some people may ask, well, how did you do that? How did you literally change your circumstance financially in such a short window of time? You ready for the answer? Here's the answer. I discovered I wasn't a goose. That's what Jim Rohn says. If we literally can recognize that we have the ability to make those particular changes, your first 5 years will be complete, or your next 5 years will be completely different than your first 5. All right. So one last point that I want to build off about personal development and changing our brain. He says that upfront decisions are easy. This is one of the mistakes I see in network marketing. Pay super close attention to this point. Upfront decisions are easy. It is easy to be emotionally excited and emotionally driven at the point of making a decision to say, I'm going to go build this business. Those decisions are easy. But what's hard is the execution after you made those decisions. What's hard is to fight through it. Just like Kaya was talking about, she is out doing this thing because she got emotionally connected to the opportunity. She got emotionally connected to Elite Academy, and she came back with a belief and an excitement, and her activity level was higher. We always say that events build belief, and belief builds activity. Our activity is going to follow our belief cycle. If our belief is elevated and high, our activity is going to be high. But she also described, because her activity is high, she's also getting a lot of high rejection. She is getting the no's. She is getting the pushback. She is getting the resistance. This is where your decision to act has to be connected to what you're going to get by acting. What you will find is the pain, the sacrifice, the obstacles become smaller the longer we stay plugged in and connected to what we're going to get. That's why it's imperative that our vision of what we're going to get is striking on all of our senses: sight, smell, hearing, tasting, feeling. All those senses have to be connected. So when you paint the picture on what it looks like for you 5 years from now, some have the vision boards. Those are great things to be connected to. But make it real. Make it tangible. So make sure that moving from the early decisions into what the future is going to look for you. All right, we go. Hey, Corinne, will you please mute your phone? Just click mute on your either your phone or your iPad. I can hear your background noise. Thank you. All right. You go the direction you face. So when you face that direction, that's where you're designing your plan. So I want to change you right now. You're fine, Corinne. Don't worry about it. We all make those mistakes. Here's what we have to change. We have been programmed for years and years and years through the education system, and we've been programmed in corporate America or working for somebody else, the job. We've been programmed how to think. We've been programmed how to be reactive, not proactive, in a lot of ways. We go to our job, and our job says this is what our responsibilities are going to be, and so just do check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. In order for us to really change where we're going to be going and what we're going to be getting, we have to understand that we're operating as entrepreneurs. We don't work for LifeVantage. We don't work for that network marketing company that we've partnered with. We work for ourselves. We're true entrepreneurs. And because we're true entrepreneurs, we have to change the way that we're thinking. I don't know if you guys can see my whiteboard back there, but it says direction determines destination. Direction will determine your destination. This is an awesome thought. You can't change your destination overnight. You can't change your destination overnight. A lot of times when we think about starting our business, we're excited about what we're going to get out of this. We've maybe even painted the vision in our mind of what we're going to be getting. We want the immediate result. And if we don't get the immediate result, we quit. We give up on all the things that we wanted out of the opportunity. We give up on our why. We can't change our destination overnight. But here's the cool thing. We can change our direction overnight. We can make those small little tweaks. We can make those mental changes almost overnight, instinctively, quickly. We can make the direction change. So once we recognize that we have full control of that, of changing our direction, once we change our direction, our destination is now in sight. That's how we're going to get to the destination. So it's a small journey to a new direction. That's all we're working on. So when we talk about personal development, here's what I can tell you. I can't change that for you. You have to change that for you. You have to decide what you want out of this opportunity. I cannot clearly paint that for you. I know what I'm going to get. I know the efforts I'm putting out right now are a small price for what I'm going to get out of the opportunity. I can't spell that out for anybody else. So if there's one obligation that you have full control of your life. You have full control of your own business. You have the responsibility to understand what you want out of the opportunity. That's not for me to spell out or determine for you. You have to. In fact, there is another responsibility I'm going to throw out you as well. And this is why it's so fundamentally important as we talk about moving forward. We can't even talk about doing the right behaviors if these pieces are not in place. Okay, it is your responsibility to understand your why. So I'm looking right at the camera right now. I'm staring right at the camera at every one of you. It is your responsibility to understand your why. It is also your responsibility to stay emotionally connected to your why. It's not my job. I wish that I could. I wish so badly that I could remind people and keep that emotional experience of why you said yes. I wish I could keep you accountable to that, but I can't. It is your responsibility. So whatever you got to do, I'm going to give you some quick little things that can help you. Number one, you've got to write your why down. Number two, your why's got to be real to you. Number three, your why has to involve you. I hear some people say, I love the product, so I just want to share it with everyone. Okay, there is something that's why you want to share that with everyone that's got to be relative to you. So your why must involve you. Your why should not just make you cry. Your why should make you act. Those are the fundamental pieces that you have to have. And it's your responsibility to understand it every single day. I've heard it said that there's two wolves inside your brain, and the one that wins is the one that you feed. Unfortunately, there's a wolf of negativity. There's a wolf of criticism. There's a wolf of not having self-worth. There's a wolf of all the negative forces out there that tends to get fed every time we wake up and every time we start our day. We always get fed it. And we tend to breed and duplicate and give more to that wolf. It's your responsibility to feed the proper wolf. That's the reason why we do these calls. That's the reason why we plug into this information. That's the reason why I have sold out to go into the events. I have to have it. I have to feed my wolf. So if I have to feed my wolf where I'm at in my business, I think it's safe for me to say you have to feed your wolf for where you're at in your business. So write your why down. I hope this is all making sense to you. It makes sense to me, but you have to write your why down, stay connected to it, and then you have to paint a very clear vision of what the future looks like. It has to be there. You will need it, you will recall it, and you need to fight for it. You have got to get the gatekeeper at the entry to your brain. You have got to make sure you get a damn good gatekeeper. And that gatekeeper is going to make sure that it blocks out the crap and it attracts in the good. I think Carrie Dickey said it best when she talked about the difference of, the idea of deprogramming and reprogramming. We have to accept the reprogramming. We have to decide what that reprogramming is, and we've got to stay true to it. So foundational, anybody who's new at this opportunity, who just came into this business, anybody brand new, it is absolutely imperative that you write your why down, what you want out of this opportunity. It is absolutely imperative that you emotionally connect to what that why is. It is also equally important to write out what the next 5 years you want it to look like for you. I want you to literally build your house. I want you to take the architectural and start creating the design. Be the architect and create the design to what your future and your life is going to look like. Spell it out and be connected to it and understand what that is. Do the vision board or whatever it is that you have to have. And then protect it. Protect it, because I'm going to tell you what the alternative is. Your job does not care about what your next 5 or 10 years looks like. Your job only cares about making sure the job gets done, and you're replaceable. I don't care how high you feel your value is. In corporate America, working for big government, we're working the job, you are replaceable. They'll bring somebody else in to do your job. If you want to really architect your future, you have to take control of it. It's your decision. It's completely 100% up to you. But you have the ability to change it. All right. I hope that this is all making sense. I don't even know what time it is. I got on my rant. One of my favorite quotes: don't go where the path may lead. Go where there is no path and leave a trail. Now, I want you to think about the principle behind that. To me, I see so many people who are not exhibiting their talents. They're not really truly developing themselves. They're settling for what somebody else says their life should look like. They're settling for what their job tells them their circumstances are going to be. And when they settle for that, they also settle for where they're going to live, how they're going to live, what car they're going to drive, all the circumstances around what their lifestyle is going to be. And if you ask them, what was your dreams? What did you want? What you're going to find is their dreams of what they really wanted is far different than what the job has spelled out for them and what they're currently living their life. And so what I'm saying is, go out and create your own path. But as you create your own path, leave a trail. Leave a trail, because your passion, your purpose, your belief is so high in that particular area and that particular thing that people know that you were there. That's the idea. And if this is not for you, if you can't get connected to that, then find out what it is. It may not be this. But if it is for you, mentally and emotionally sell out. Mentally and emotionally sell out. Burn the ships. That doesn't mean quit your job. You don't have to prove it to me by quitting your job. You don't have to prove it to me by making sure you pre-register for the next event when you're told to. What that simply means is you mentally make the decision. You consciously say, I am going to do this because this is what I'm going to get out of this. When you do that, you went all in. You mentally and emotionally burnt the ship. I've done that. So don't go where the path may lead. Don't just go where everyone says you should go. Define for yourself what you want. Create your own path. But when you create your own path, leave the trail. All right. So now, that's my ending point on my tangent. Now, what I am going to do is I want to transition a quick conversation on just talking about some of the really cool things that are transpiring and taking place right now inside of LifeVantage. And there's going to be more elaboration and details behind this, because I want every one of you to decide, again, what you're going to get out of this and then institute how you're going to get that done. And there's so many cool things that are happening right now. Number one, there has been some enhancements to our compensation plan. There has been some enhancements to our compensation plan. And in those enhancements to our compensation plan, they are driven behind rewarding people for the proper effort. There are people right now that are giving up part-time jobs, that are cutting out secondary sources of income, or maybe have actually quit their jobs to go out and build this business. And there's a gap. There's a gap of working a job and making money and actually living on true residual income. There's a lot of effort that goes into that. And there's a lot of money that's necessary to create that lifestyle. The compensation enhancements are going to help fill that gap for people. It's also going to reward you for going out and supporting your team and working in depth, which I love that idea. The idea that we can literally work down in depth and still be paid to help cover our cost to travel and to work the business. And so we're going to elaborate and work a little bit more on exactly how to maximize this compensation plan. I just want you guys to know that one of my attributes and what I feel I take pride in is understanding how the compensation plan works and how to get somebody to the back end of the compensation plan. That means if you want to make a lot of money, which I'm totally cool with, I don't think it's wrong to think about making a lot of money. I personally, this is Trent Lindstrom's personal beliefs, I believe that if you're a bad person, money just makes you more of a bad person. It magnifies that. If you're a good person and you have a genuine good heart, I believe that making a lot of money will magnify that as well, give you a platform to be gooder. That's not even a word, but that makes sense to me. It'll make you gooder. Okay, so the objective is I don't think there's anything wrong with pursuing more money. I want to give you permission to that. For some reason, we got this programming. Again, this is the deprogramming for reprogramming. We have this programming that money is the root of all, and you guys can fill in the gap, right? I don't believe that it is. I think money can be for good. So I'm giving you permission right now to focus on and make as much money as you stinking want. I want to help you with that. And the compensation plan will reward you for helping a lot of people be successful in network marketing. Really working into your organizations, really supporting people regardless of where they're at in your network. It's going to reward you for that. So the compensation enhancement plan changes, those enhancement changes I really believe are going to be beneficial for those of you that want to help a lot of people. And we're going to be going over and breaking those down in details. We don't have the time to do that today, but I just want you to know that I'm really excited in the direction the company is going. And I have all of the PowerPoint slides. And I think Stacy, somebody asked for those, and I don't know that I got those posted on our team page. No, I did post those on the team page. So if you go to our Facebook page, take a look at that. You'll see the PowerPoint behind all of the compensation plan changes. And then we're going to break those down a little bit more in detail. So I'm really thrilled about that. The other thing I want to talk about is, this is just the starting point. There is a tectonic shift that Darren Jensen's been talking about for the last year. He's a 28-year experienced CEO or executive in the world of network marketing. He sits on the board with the Direct Selling Association. He's been asked to be part of a committee by the Federal Trade Commission when it comes to network marketing. This guy has got a lot of credibility, and I trust his judgment as the driver right now in LifeVantage. And with that, for the last year, he's been talking about this tectonic shift. This tectonic shift is very real, and all of us are doing it. We're on Zoom right now. We literally have the ability to see eyeball to eyeball. And as a result of that, more of our prospects are utilizing technology. They're utilizing their phones more than just using it for a phone call. It's funny to me how I swear I feel like I'm being disrespectful if I call somebody without sending them a text message to find out if they're even available for a phone call. It's the craziest, weirdest thing. But I have to be respectful now to send a text to say, hey, are you open for a quick phone call? That's how we've evolved. There's more communication through technologies and social media, instant messenger, text messaging. There's more communication to our family and our friends. There's more communication to our quote-unquote coworkers. There's more communication in our entertainment world. There's more communication in our political debates through social media than it is on the actual television, than it is actually going out your front door, hooking a hard left, walking 50 feet, hooking another left, and being on your neighbor's doorstep and knocking on their door. It blows my freaking mind, but it's true. There is an evolution that's occurring in the technology world, and we can either recognize that shift and be in front of that, or else we can be a victim to the fact that we're not benefiting. I believe that the grassroots of network marketing are real and foundational and important. We have to do the need face-to-face. Walking down the street 50, 75, 100 feet to go to our neighbor's door and have a conversation with them about what they're looking for and what they need in their life is very real and very raw. But, and let me don't put the but in there. And if we can utilize social media and the power of technology, the power of Zoom, we can also get out to more people much quicker. We have got new platforms, new apps, new technologies that have been in development for the last year, and you've heard us talk about this. There is a recorded call on our team website. By the way, for those of you who don't know, we do have a team website, road210.com. road210.com, and I finally got the right supporting cast to make sure that that website is up to date with new stuff. We will be posting some new podcasts and new audios, recordings that are going to be on that page. We're going to be doing those on a weekly basis. We have almost upwards to 200 recorded calls that we've been doing on Saturday morning that people are not even getting access to. Some great information. We're going to be getting those out on electronic forum through podcasts, and we're going to be getting them posted on our team website. I'm really, really excited about that, by the way. We will be having new training videos. We're working with some other elite distributors and Pro 10s that are going to be putting up some new training videos. They will be posted on that website. So road210.com, it's a great reference page. Also, we've got the chance to put a team calendar on there. But on that team website, it is exciting. Thank you, Haley, for sharing that. And by the way, our team Facebook page, interactive, we're going to be a platform that we can use for promoting meetings and promoting stuff as well. So anyway, that's all exciting stuff. Why did I get on the website thing? Well, I was trying to prove a point. What was my point? Sean, help me out. Was there something I was trying to prove? I just had a brain fart.
The technology of today.
Thanks, Robert. Technology for today. So the whole point that I'm making is we have the ability to get to more people quicker by utilizing those technology. Oh, this is my point. Thanks, Robert, for reminding my memory. On our team website, there is a call done back in January, February time of this year by Pro 10 Tyler Daniels talking about this tectonic shift. And he says in that tectonic shift, we're talking about addressing the aging effects. What if at a future date we would actually have a study that shows that we extend life? Wow, that would be pretty cool. And what if we could marriage that conversation with technologies on how we communicated that to the masses? That has come to reality today. If you guys have not seen that technology video, I know I'm like praying and going off of faith here. Actually, it's not faith because it's already happened. But if you look at that technology video of what Ryan Goodwin has put together, we are connecting the dots with all the apps that we've got to allow people the ability not to hammer their family and friends on Facebook, not to hammer a product conversation on Facebook, but literally getting outside the scope of just the people that we know. I've heard it said in network marketing, it's not who you know, it's who you don't know. Interestingly, most of you, well, pretty much all of you, I didn't even know prior to this opportunity. But we have created a close relationship and close bond because of the opportunity. It's connected all of us. So it's not who you know, it's who you don't know that becomes valuable. The ability of utilizing these technologies, these apps, these platforms is not going to be just for your network. It's going to be for your network's network. And we're going to get more into this. There's going to be a lot more conversation behind this. We will never get away from the foundational principles that we teach on the behaviors. 15 presentations a month. Attending all the events. Life Edge Academy is coming up in November. Make sure you get registered for that. We've got Elite Academy. We just had our last Elite Academy. We have every year and a half a convention. Our year and a half rotation is coming up in April in Salt Lake City. And I believe our price point for convention is going up. So we need to make sure that we're registering for that. I believe I'm speaking to the right crowd here. I know you're committed. I feel confident that every one of you are going to go to these events and going to go to convention. I'm not holding your finger to the fire that you have to register today. But I can tell you, the sooner that we register, the more the inexpensive it's going to be. Make the decision, follow through on doing it, and cut your costs down. Those of you that have to travel in, get your airfare already arranged. Make those commitments now. It's a lot better to have those decisions done now than waiting and then hustling to try to figure that out. Oh, all right. I know we went a little bit long on this Zoom, but I'm extremely passionate. I'm extremely excited. I'm really, really excited for everybody to take advantage of the opportunity. Connecting the dots of the fact that we have got a product that we need to be a lot louder and bring a lot more noise to the marketplace. Eric Worre talked about that. We have got what this industry has been starving for years. The nutraceutical industry in the space of direct selling and network marketing have been starving for peer-reviewed science done outside of our influence, pads that are approved by the U.S. government and international governments, to take a study that actually shows that we extend life. Hello, pretty big deal. Quality of life for people. We have got that. We're just not being loud enough. We're simply not being loud enough. And then to take the technology of utilizing social media effectively, not by hammering our family and friends, but effectively using it, I think it'd be a powerful thing. And just as a point, I'm gonna turn the recorder off here real quick.